host, Sherry G. I told you I'd be back. If you haven't done so, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I'd really, really appreciate it. So let me go ahead and get this disclaimer out the way. Keep in mind that all of the views expressed in this video are alleged. They're of my opinion and the opinion of those who choose to comment in the comment section below. It's for entertainment and learning purposes only. So, now that that's out of the way, guys, Mel is on tour. Now, remember, this week is her last week to tour. So, she was in Omaha last night. She's going to be in Kansas City tonight. And then her last tour date is the 25th. And I forgot which city she's going to end up in on the 25th. I actually forgot to write that down. So, excuse me for that. I apologize. But yeah, so this week is the last week touring. If you recall, when she was on tour about a week and a half ago, she said that it was kind of stressful and she almost felt like not doing it. And that's when her whole push through slogan came out. And then she actually designed her t-shirts and her sweatshirts all around that, right? Her push through apparel came after that. I thought that was pretty cool. She's always looking at ways to make money. Make money Mel. That's what we call her, right? So anyway, sounds like the tour was going pretty well, or went pretty well last night. The crowd, she said the crowd was bomb. So it looks like they were real receptive. They all had a great time. She mentioned dropping her record titled Down into the set. So she hadn't done that before. So she did that and the crowd loved it. And she was on stage dancing, singing with her backup singers. And all of a sudden, a man shows up. Now, I don't recall there being any men or a man on any of her previous tours. But on this tour, he was. Not only is he there, but he's masked up. We have no clue who this man is. So when I saw it, I'm thinking, okay, so is this the infamous Boo that we haven't seen yet? Is Mel sending out one of those subliminals that we all love her for? You know how she can tell you what's going on without telling you what's going on? I think so. In my opinion, I think it could be. What do you guys think about that? So anyway, moving on. Tasha Scott, Tamika Scott, their mom, Rocky. What a hot mess. And like I mentioned in the video that I dropped earlier today, there's so much to unpack from this situation. So much going on. You have a mom whose relationship with one of her daughters is very volatile. The daughters are not getting along. You have the alleged theft, the $30,000 theft. You have the husband who is allegedly a part of the whole thing, and the husband who seems to be allegedly very controlling of Tasha, and just the whole way they treat Tamika, and all of this stuff that's coming out. And now, all of a sudden, the alleged side chick, mistress, whatever it is you want to call her, has stepped out of the shadows. And allegedly, she and Rocky have been in a relationship for 5 whole years. And I say relationship because it's been 5 whole years. According to her, it's been a continuous 5 whole years. And not only did he have a relationship with her, but he also knew her children. So the children know him. They have, they're familiar with him. So this just kind of takes everything to a whole nother level. And in my mind, I'm wondering, did Tasha know, or does Tasha know about this woman? I mean, we've seen it in the past with like Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter. Wendy knew, but until Sharina became pregnant and there was a baby now in the picture, she just went along with it. And so then the other question is, why do women stay in these relationships or in these marriages when they know that these side chicks, our mistresses, are there? That these affairs, or whatever you want to call it, I mean, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, it's really a full blown relationship. It's like they're living another life. Why do they stay? I mean, I know enough looks different on all of us, but what in your mind makes you want to stay in a situation like that? Especially when you're the one that, in these situations, at least, you're the one that's holding the bag, so to speak. You're the one that's making the money. Like you're making him look good, but it's your talent, it's your skill, it's you putting in the work that's actually bringing in the money, and not the man. He's taking your money, taking money out of your pocket, out of money that you've worked hard for, money that you've earned, and spending it on lavish gifts, cars, and etc. on the side chick. Why do you stay? It's not like you can't do it without the man. So why do you stay so long? So that's one question. And the other question is, Tasha K actually dropped a snippet of an interview that she did with Rocky's alleged side chick. And she's going to actually be showing that whole interview on her, I think it's Tasha.com, TashaK.com, or Tasha, whatever it is. It's not going to be on her YouTube channel. It's going to be on another platform where you actually have to pay and be a member in order to have the privilege to see the whole video. So anyway, in this snippet, the woman actually, I think her name's Unique, if I'm remembering correctly, and she claims that they were in this relationship for 5 consecutive years. She shows messages that go way back in her phone to Tasha K. And then at one point, Tasha asked her, did you feel bad about dating a married man? And she said no. And a lot of people seem to be kind of taken aback by that or appalled by that. And I can't wrap my mind around it either. But I remember years ago, after I divorced my first husband, I was very young then. So I was like 22 years old. And I knew these 2 other young ladies who at the time our husbands were friends. And so that's how I knew them. But I found out they eventually left their husbands. But I ran into them. Actually, I ran into them. They were walking through the parking lot of the apartment complex where I was staying. And so I saw them from the window and I kept looking. And I'm like, oh, that's them. So I ran downstairs to say hi to them because I hadn't seen them in a couple of years. And by that time, my divorce was final and I had no clue. I thought they were still married, but they informed me that, they were divorced. And then I said, so how's dating life going? And so they were telling me about that. But then each one proceeded to tell me that they only dated married men. And I was kind of shocked by that. I said, you only date married men? Or did you date a married man and find out he was married like later? And they're like, no, They purposely only date married men. And so I asked them why, and they said because of the benefits. And I'm like, what do you mean? So they went on to tell me that they buy them all these nice gifts. They pay their mortgage. One girl had was staying in an apartment, so her rent was paid. They purchased cars for them, and just all these other lavish gifts and things that they provided for them. That if they dated, just a regular guy or a guy who wasn't married, a single guy, might buy some gifts for them and do some things for them, but they wouldn't lavish them as extravagantly as these guys did. Pay for trips, things like that, clothes, shoes, whatever it is that they wanted. And so there's a certain caliber of a married man that they dated because this man could afford to provide them with all of these things. Now, I have no clue if these men were attached to women who, they were actually the ones bringing in the money, like Wendy and Melody. And in my opinion, Tasha, because I'm not really sure what Rocky does or what kind of money he brings in, what he actually did for the side chick besides, that. But I really don't know because I don't remember that being discussed in the snippet that Tasha K dropped. I'm sure it'll be discussed tomorrow. But we know with Ariane and Sharina, they received gifts. They received cars allegedly and things like that. So, yeah, that's what these ladies told me. And so when this Rocky's alleged side chick said that she didn't feel bad, it automatically in my mind brought me back to that conversation with these two young ladies years ago. So I don't know what you guys think about all of that, but yeah, it's just like, wow, like it's coming. These things are just happening, and I just wanted to say that it's not just people who are in the limelight either, because the two young ladies that I knew way back in the day, they were not in the limelight. I don't know what the men did because I didn't ask any more questions. I was kind of shocked. It's like, what in the world? I couldn't see myself doing that and causing, division like that. But anyway, some women do it, and this is the reason, or could be the reason why they do it. But I don't know what you guys think about that. I mean, I don't condone it at all. It's just me trying to wrap my head around all of this stuff that's going on. But like I said, the situation with Latasha, Tamika, Rocky, and the mom, there's so much to unpack in what's happening here. The relationship between the mom and daughter, that's another discussion. I mean, the relationship between the sisters, that's another discussion. But that's all I have for you now. And so, if you haven't done so, please hit that like button if you didn't do so on your way in. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It would be much, much appreciated. Hit the notification bell because I will be back. Until then, ciao.